The Spiritual Path of Dungeons and Dragons, The Quest Within, by David Rousseau. What if the dragons you face in the game are the same? One's hiding within your own heart. What if the quests you embark upon at the table are guides for the soul? Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime, one that starts inside you. Introduction, the call to adventure. Welcome, traveler. Before we begin, I want to share something personal. When I first discovered Dungeons and Dragons, I was completely captivated. Every spare moment was spent rolling dice, creating characters, and imagining quests. I wanted to play constantly, even when schoolwork piled up. Even when responsibilities called. My parents eventually took away my books, and I felt frustration, longing, and loss. I still wanted to play, yet I had no choice but to let go. And in that forced pause, I discovered something unexpected. The adventure wasn't only in the game, it was inside me. The courage, creativity, and imagination had poured into my characters, became a map for my own inner journey. I realized that Dungeons and Dragons could teach more than strategy or storytelling. It could illuminate the path within, the journey of self-discovery, courage, and transformation. Dungeons and Dragons is often called a game, a pastime, a way to spend an evening with friends, and it is all of those things. But for those willing to look closer, it becomes something more, a map of the soul. Every character sheet, every alignment choice, every dungeon crawl mirrors the inner landscape of the mind, heart, and spirit. Every session is an opportunity to explore courage, wisdom, compassion, and the shadows we often try to avoid. This audiobook is an invitation. It is an invitation to see the familiar world of D&D not just as dice and rules, but as a spiritual path. You will discover that the choices you make in-game are often the same choices you face in life. You will learn that courage is forged not only in epic battles, but in the quiet moments of reflection and self-awareness. And you will see that your companions, your party, not just allies in a game, but teachers, guides, and mirrors for the soul. As you listen, approach this journey like a campaign. Take your time, reflect on the exercises, engage with the metaphors. Let the story of Dungeons and Dragons illuminate the story within you. The adventure is waiting, and it begins not in some distant fantasy world, but inside your own heart. Roll the dice, choose your path, step into your quest. Chapter 1, Choosing Your Class, Archetypes and the Self. Every Dungeons and Dragons character begins with a choice, a class. Will you be a fighter, a rogue, a cleric, a wizard? Each class carries strengths, weaknesses, and a particular way of engaging with the world. At first glance, it is a game decision, but look closer, and you see it mirrors the choices we make in life, the patterns of our personality, and the aspects of ourselves we wish to explore or cultivate. When I was younger, I dove into Dungeons and Dragons with everything I had. I spent hours creating characters, imagining quests, and exploring worlds. I wanted to play constantly, even when my schoolwork piled up or responsibilities called. My parents eventually took away my books, and I felt frustration, longing, and loss. I still wanted to play, but I had no choice. And in that forced pause, I realized something powerful. The game had already taught me a deeper lesson. My creativity, courage, and imagination weren't just in my characters, they were inside me. Not all lessons were gentle. One day, I teamed up with another player in a campaign. An older player didn't like our choices and became upset. Later, while I was riding my bike, he chased me and pushed me into the grass. I was frightened, shocked, and confused. But I realized something important. Not every challenge in a game or in life is fair or predictable. People's egos, emotions, and reactions can create obstacles we never anticipated. Like rolling dice, outcomes in life are partly out of our control. The lesson is not to avoid difficulty, but to respond with courage, awareness, and resilience. Choosing a class is a way to explore your inner world. A fighter may reflect your courage, a wizard your curiosity, a cleric your compassion, and a rogue your adaptability. But with each level gained, with each power unlocked, the ego can emerge. You may feel bigger, stronger, smarter. If you are a dungeon master, holding the world in your hands, it's easy to feel invincible. This is natural. Yet true growth comes when you recognize the ego, not in judgment, but in awareness. Power, whether in a game or in life, is a mirror. How you wield it, how you relate to others, and how you stay grounded are the real tests of strength. And then there are the dice. Rolling the dice is a moment of surrender. You prepare, you plan, you strategize, but ultimately, the outcome is partly out of your control. Sometimes you succeed beyond expectation, sometimes you fail, and sometimes the result surprises you entirely. Life works the same way. We can study, practice, and make our best choices, but the results are never guaranteed. The dice remind us to embrace uncertainty, to act with courage despite fear, and to accept that not everything is within our control. It is in this space between intention and outcome that growth, creativity, and discovery occur. Here is an exercise. Reflect on the qualities you value most and imagine them as a character class. How do they show up in your life? Next, consider moments when your ego has felt inflated, when power or recognition made you feel larger than the situation. Then, think of a recent dice roll in your life, a time when the outcome was uncertain, or when someone else's actions challenged you unexpectedly. Ask yourself, how did I respond? What did I learn from surrendering to the unknown? Writing these reflections down can help transform awareness into practice. Remember, the class you choose is not just about ability. It is a lens through which you explore yourself. Each ability, spell, and skill is an opportunity to learn, reflect, and grow. The level-ups, the treasures, the dice, the challenges others create, and even the dungeon master's perspective are tools for inner awareness. By understanding your character and the ego that comes with power, you step more fully into the adventure of your own life. Chapter 2. Alignment, the compass of the heart. In Dungeons and Dragons, every character chooses an alignment, a guidepost that defines how they act, the choices they make, and how they respond to the world. Lawful or chaotic, good or evil. These words may seem simple, almost rigid, but beneath them lies a mirror for our own moral and spiritual compass. Alignment is more than a label. It is a lens for self-exploration. Are you drawn to structure and order, to the safety of rules and tradition? Or does your spirit yearn for freedom, spontaneity, and breaking old patterns? Do you act from a place of compassion, seeking to heal and uplift? Or do you sometimes walk through life following your own desires, testing the boundaries of your own morality? Every choice, both in game and in life, reveals something about your alignment, not as a permanent box, but as a reflection of your present path. The beauty of alignment is its invitation to self-awareness. When we examine our decisions, our reactions, our intentions, we begin to see the patterns guiding our actions. We notice when we act out of fear rather than love, when we uphold values we've inherited rather than those we've chosen, when we embrace courage in small ways before the big dragons arrive. Here is a simple exercise. Take a quiet moment, close your eyes, and reflect on your past week. Think about 3 decisions you made, small or large. Ask yourself, were they guided by structure or freedom, by compassion or self-interest? How did my choices align with the person I aspire to be? Write down your observations. Notice where your actions align with your intentions, and where they might not. This is not judgment, it is awareness, the first step toward conscious transformation. Alignment, like any compass, can shift. It is not a verdict, it is a tool. By examining it, by reflecting on the map it provides, you gain clarity on your spiritual path. And just as in D&D, the deeper the understanding of your alignment, the more intentional and courageous your journey becomes, both in the game and within your own life. Chapter 3. Rolling the dice, surrender and faith in uncertainty. In Dungeons and Dragons, the roll of a die can change everything. A single 20-sided die, simple, unassuming, yet full of possibility, determines whether a spell succeeds, a sword strikes true, or a plan unravels. For many players, it is thrilling, sometimes frustrating, but always a reminder. Control is never complete. Life works in much the same way. No matter how carefully we plan, how diligently we prepare, uncertainty remains. The dice remind us that we cannot predict every outcome, and yet, in that surrender, there is freedom. Surrender is not weakness. It is trust. Trust in the process, trust in our own abilities, and trust that even when the roll doesn't go our way, the journey continues and lessons abound. Rolling the dice teaches us patience and humility. Sometimes, a natural 1 will knock us down, and we will stumble. Sometimes, a natural 20 will elevate us in ways we never expected. Both moments are opportunities for growth. The challenge is learning to embrace the unknown, to act with courage even when success is not guaranteed, and to remain present with whatever outcome appears. Here is a simple exercise. Take a moment to reflect on an area of your life where you feel uncertainty, something you cannot control. Imagine the dice in your hand. Roll them, mentally or physically, and notice your reaction. Do you resist the result? Or do you release it with faith? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this uncertainty? How can I move forward with trust, even without knowing the outcome? The spiritual lesson of rolling the dice is clear. Life's unpredictability is not something to fear, but to honor. Each roll, each chance, each unknown path is part of the adventure. The dice teach us that surrender is not defeat. It is courage. And when we embrace uncertainty, we step fully into the quest, the ongoing journey of discovery, growth, and transformation. Chapter 4. Party Dynamics, Fellowship, Mentorship, and Support. In Dungeons and Dragons, no adventurer thrives alone. The party, the group of companions, traveling together, is more than a strategy for survival. Each member brings unique strengths, weaknesses, and perspectives. The fighter provides courage and protection. The wizard offers insight and knowledge. The cleric heals, and the rogue uncovers hidden paths. Alone, each hero is powerful, but together, they become something greater than the sum of their parts. Life mirrors this truth. We are not meant to journey through the world in isolation. Our friends, mentors, family, and colleagues are our party. They challenge us, support us, and reflect back parts of ourselves we might not otherwise see. Sometimes, a companion will push us into discomfort, forcing growth. Sometimes, they will offer gentle guidance, helping us navigate the darkness. Just as in a game, harmony comes not from uniformity, but from appreciating differences and learning to work together. Here is a reflective exercise. Consider your current party in life. Who lifts you up? Who challenges you? Who reflects back the strengths or shadows you may not recognize on your own? Write down their names and the lessons they bring. Then, ask yourself, how can I honor them, support them, and also allow myself to be supported? Party dynamics also teach humility. Sometimes we must step back and let others lead. Sometimes we must step forward and take responsibility. And sometimes we must truly listen without judgment or ego. These moments strengthen not just the party, but the self. Remember, fellowship is sacred. The bonds you build along your journey, both in game and in life, shape your path as much as any dragon defeated or treasure found. By embracing the wisdom, support, and challenge of your companions, you cultivate resilience, courage, and connection, qualities that carry you far beyond any dungeon. Chapter 5. Quests and Campaigns. Life as Adventure. In Dungeons and Dragons, a campaign is more than a series of battles. It is a story, a journey, a path filled with challenges, discoveries, and transformation. Each quest has purpose, sometimes hidden, sometimes clear, and every step moves the characters closer to growth, understanding, and mastery. The journey itself is as meaningful as the treasure at the end. Life is no different. We are all adventurers on our own campaigns. Every decision, every challenge, every moment of courage or doubt is part of a larger narrative, a quest that stretches across days, months, and years. Some quests are small, learning a new skill, overcoming a fear, or healing a relationship. Others are epic, finding your life's purpose, navigating a career, or facing a personal crisis. Each has lessons, and each shapes the person you are becoming. Here is an exercise to make this tangible. Imagine your life as a campaign. What are the current quests on your map? Which are completed? Which are in progress? And which are waiting to be discovered? Write them down or speak them aloud. Reflect on the skills, allies, and strengths you will need to advance. Consider the obstacles not as roadblocks, but as dragons or puzzles designed to teach you something essential. The beauty of quests is that they are never truly linear. Side paths, detours, and unexpected encounters often reveal insights more profound than the main objective. Embrace them, celebrate small victories, learn from setbacks. Each moment, each challenge, each choice is a step on your adventure. Remember, the campaign is yours to shape. The treasures, the lessons, and the transformation are all waiting, not at the end, but throughout the journey. By seeing life as a series of quests, you shift your perspective. Challenges become opportunities, obstacles become teachers, and every day is a chance to level up not just in skills or knowledge, but in courage, wisdom, and self-awareness. Chapter 6: Dungeons and Dragons, Facing Your Shadows. In every Dungeons and Dragons adventure, there comes a moment when the party descends into a dungeon, a dark, unfamiliar place full of traps, monsters, and uncertainty. The dungeon is dangerous, yes, but it is also transformative. It is a crucible, a space where the heroes confront challenges they cannot ignore, and where their true strengths are revealed. Life, too, has its dungeons. These are the moments we fear: heartbreak, loss, doubt, failure, or confrontation with parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid. These shadows are not enemies to be defeated through denial. They are teachers, waiting to show us what we are capable of, and who we truly are beneath fear, pretense, or comfort. Just as a dungeon challenges the party, your shadows challenge your courage, resilience, and self-awareness. Here is an exercise to guide your exploration. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and imagine entering your personal dungeon. What fears, doubts, or unresolved emotions lie in its depths? Picture yourself walking through its corridors, acknowledging what you encounter without judgment. Then ask yourself, what lesson does this shadow hold? What courage can I summon here? Reflect or journal on your discoveries. This is not about defeating the shadows in one roll of the dice. It is about learning to move through them with awareness, patience, and compassion for yourself. Remember, the dungeon is not a place of punishment. It is a space of growth, a rite of passage, and a doorway to transformation. Every challenge faced, every shadow confronted, makes the adventure stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the journey ahead. The dragons of your inner dungeon may roar and strike, but within you lies the power to face them, step by step, with courage and clarity. Your spiritual quest requires bravery, not in the absence of fear, but in its presence. Step into the dungeon, face what you have been avoiding, and emerge with insight, resilience, and a deeper connection to yourself. Chapter 7: Magic and Spells, Transformative Tools. In Dungeons and Dragons, magic is a force of possibility. Spells allow characters to heal, protect, reveal hidden truths, or transform reality in ways that seem impossible. Magic is not just power, it is intention made manifest, a tool that channels knowledge, skill, and creativity into action. Your life, too, has magic. It is the unseen force within you, your imagination, your words, your choices, and your capacity to transform yourself and your world. Each act of kindness, each decision made with awareness, each creative idea is a spell of its own, shaping your reality in ways both subtle and profound. Just as a wizard studies, prepares, and chooses their spells carefully, you can cultivate and wield your inner magic with intention. Here is an exercise to practice this principle. Take a moment to identify 3 personal spells, tools, practices, or strengths that you can call on to navigate life's challenges. Perhaps it is empathy, meditation, or a skill you have mastered. Visualize yourself casting these spells in situations where they are needed. Feel the energy, the focus, the effect of bringing them fully into action. Then reflect, how can I expand my personal spellbook? What new strengths or practices could I cultivate to navigate the next challenge? Magic in D&D is also a reminder of timing, patience, and awareness. A spell cast too early or too late can miss its mark. In life, your inner magic works the same way. Cultivate discernment about when and how to act. Notice the results, learn from them, and refine your approach. Remember, Your inner magic is not supernatural, it is human. It is your creativity, your resilience, your compassion, and your ability to shape your path. By recognizing it, practicing it, and wielding it with intention, you transform not just your circumstances, but yourself. Every challenge becomes an opportunity, every choice a chance to cast a new spell, and every day a canvas for your own personal magic. Chapter 8. Treasures and Rewards. Recognizing Growth. In Dungeons and Dragons, treasures are more than gold and gems. They are tokens of accomplishment, symbols of skill, courage, and perseverance. A magical sword, a rare artifact, or even a simple pouch of coins tells a story. You faced the challenge. You prevailed. You grew. These treasures mark progress, celebrating both effort and transformation. Life, too, offers treasures. They may not be tangible, but they are equally valuable. A hard-earned insight, a moment of courage, a relationship strengthened, or a fear overcome. Too often, we overlook these treasures, focusing only on what we lack or what we hope to achieve. Yet each step forward, each lesson learned, each personal victory is a reward and deserves recognition. Here is a simple exercise. Reflect on the past month of your life. Identify 3 treasures you've gained, moments when you acted courageously, grew wiser, or deepened a connection. They can be small or large. Write them down, speak them aloud, or simply hold them in your awareness. As you recognize them, notice how your perspective shifts. The path behind you becomes a map of accomplishments, and the challenges ahead become opportunities for even more growth. Treasures also teach gratitude. By acknowledging what we have gained, we cultivate a sense of abundance and possibility. Just as adventurers cherish their loot, we can celebrate our own milestones, no matter how subtle. Each treasure is a reminder you are moving forward, learning, evolving, and shaping your journey with intention. Remember, the journey itself is filled with rewards. Sometimes the lesson is the treasure, sometimes the courage is the reward, and sometimes the companionship or an insight gained along the way is priceless. By recognizing and honoring your treasures, you deepen your connection to your own path, and you carry forward the wisdom, strength, and joy that each victory provides. Chapter 9. Boss Battles. Overcoming Obstacles. In Dungeons and Dragons, every campaign leads to a boss battle, a formidable opponent, larger and more challenging than anything encountered before. It is a test of skill, courage, and teamwork. Victory is not guaranteed, and defeat is a real possibility. Yet it is in facing the boss that characters discover their true strength, resilience, and ingenuity. Life, too, presents boss battles. These are the moments when fear, doubt, or difficulty feels overwhelming. A major life change, a personal loss, a difficult decision, or a challenge that tests your limits. These moments can feel insurmountable, yet they are opportunities to summon your inner strength, call upon your allies, and confront what has been holding you back. Just as in a game, how you approach these challenges matters. Preparation, focus, and courage determine not only the outcome, but the growth that comes from the struggle. Here is an exercise to practice this principle. Identify a current boss in your life, something that feels daunting, uncomfortable, or beyond your control. Visualize yourself approaching it with intention and clarity. Ask yourself, what are my strengths? Who or what can support me? What strategies can I employ to navigate this challenge? Then take one small, intentional step toward it. Even incremental progress is a victory. Boss battles also teach humility and adaptability. Sometimes the outcome is not exactly what we hoped for, but every attempt, every lesson, and every insight strengthens us for the next encounter. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to face it, again and again, until transformation occurs. Remember, the bosses in your life are not punishments, they are teachers. Each confrontation reveals a deeper layer of your courage, resourcefulness, and wisdom. By meeting these challenges head-on, you grow in ways that no easy victory could provide, and you emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true path. Chapter 10. The Everlasting Campaign. The path never ends. In Dungeons and Dragons, even when a campaign ends, the story does not truly stop. Characters may retire, new quests may begin, and the lessons learned along the way continue to shape future adventures. The journey is continuous, evolving, and ever unfolding, a never-ending campaign. Your spiritual path is the same. Life does not offer a single victory or a final level. It presents an ongoing series of experiences, challenges, and transformations. Each success, each setback, and each discovery is part of an eternal campaign of growth. The lessons you learn, the courage you summon, and the connections you cultivate carry forward into every new chapter of your life. Here is an exercise to honor this idea. Imagine your life as a campaign spanning many levels, challenges, and storylines. Reflect on the quests you've completed, lessons learned, fears faced, skills gained. Then imagine the quests ahead. What adventures call to you now? What challenges are waiting to test your courage and creativity? Write them down, speak them aloud, or visualize them. This is your map, guiding you toward deeper understanding, purpose, and self-mastery. The everlasting campaign also teaches patience and presence. There is no rush to reach the end. Every encounter, every conversation, every challenge is meaningful. By embracing the journey itself, rather than fixating only on outcomes, you cultivate wisdom, resilience, and gratitude for the path you walk. Remember, your campaign never truly ends. You are the hero, the storyteller, and the adventurer. Each day is another opportunity to level up, to explore uncharted territory, and to deepen your connection with yourself, your companions, and the world around you. The dragons, treasures, and quests are always present, not as obstacles or rewards alone, but as guides for growth, courage, and discovery. Step forward, adventurer, for your journey continues, and the story within you is eternal. If life is a campaign, then perhaps the dungeon master is not outside you, but within you, the part of you that seeks growth, meaning, and transformation. There are no literal spiritual points, but there are moments of awareness, courage, and choice that shape who you become. When you roll the dice, you are not surrendering control, you are participating in uncertainty, the same uncertainty that shapes every real adventure. If you are ready, take a breath, roll the dice, and see what part of you is ready to grow next. Conclusion. Returning from the quest, every adventurer knows that even the longest campaign eventually reaches a pause, a moment to rest, reflect, and take stock. You have journeyed through the classes, alignments, dungeons, and treasures of this audiobook. You have faced shadows, rolled the dice of uncertainty, and discovered the magic within yourself. Now it is time to pause, to honor the journey, and to carry the lessons forward. The dragons you have confronted, fear, doubt, hesitation, are not vanquished forever. They may return in new forms, challenging you in different ways. Yet you are stronger, wiser, and more aware than before. The companions you've acknowledged, the friends, mentors, and guides in your life remain by your side, ready to support you on the next leg of the adventure. Every quest completed, every obstacle faced, every treasure recognized has left a mark, a growth in courage, insight, and self-awareness that cannot be taken away. Here is a final exercise. Close your eyes and visualize your own campaign map, past, present, and future. Trace the paths you have walked, the challenges you have overcome, and the lessons you have learned. Then imagine the new quests waiting ahead. Ask yourself, what courage will I summon? What magic will I wield? What treasures, inner and outer, will I recognize along the way? Take a deep breath and step forward, knowing that your story is unfolding, ever evolving, and entirely your own. Remember, the path of a Dungeons and Dragons adventurer mirrors the path of the spirit. There are dragons to face, allies to treasure, quests to embrace, and magic to wield, not just in the game, but in your life. The story does not end here. Your journey continues, and the quest within you is eternal. Roll the dice, step forward, and live the adventure fully.